Last night, we got a treat from two of the best young players the NBA has to offer. Ja Morant went for 44 points and 9 assists in a loss to the Spurs, while Trae Young detonated for 37 points and 7 assists, including 12 for 14 from the line and 5 for 6 from three-point range. Which brings us to one of the spicier discussions we've been having the past week. Who is better? Let's dive into last night's footage to figure this out, if that's even possible. In this difficult year of hardship, these two bring the kind of Christmas cheer we all need, and let's be thankful we'll have them around for many years to come. When comparing modern point guards in today's NBA game, there aren't that many categories to consider. The floater game, drawing fouls, shooting from deep, and their court vision. Let's start with floaters, since these two are distinctly different. With Ja's shots, you'll notice he jumps off both feet, enabling him to feint one way, then rise up balanced to elevate and release over the big man softly. Because defenses are constantly shifting and stunting, the ability to adjust on the fly is crucial, as Ja takes what the defense gives him, senses an opening, and twists this step-through floater in over the contest by Aldridge. The ball handling skills Morant possesses are on their way to being next level. Check how he floats the dribble up while bringing the shooting hand to the ball as a shot fake before blowing right by DeRozan and towards the hoop. On this floater, he does jump off the left foot on the one, meaning he had an extra step if he wanted it, and this drops it right through the net. On this drive off of a high horn set, notice how he leaps off both feet staggered in rhythm. Kudos for the left-handed shot through contact, but he gets in the air before making that contact, allowing Aldridge to maintain legal guarding position, and it turns into a tough miss. One thing Morant does need to improve is his ability to draw fouls. Too often, he'll get stuck in the air without enough contact to merit a foul, which can lead to misses near the rim. Contrast that to Trae Young's one-footed floaters, and the key for him is that he jumps off the one most of the time to catch the defender off balance, ensuring that contact occurs with the body on the way up, not after he's already in the air. This tends to get a lot more whistles from the referees. His jump shot is so dangerous that it's easy for Young to force switches and get mismatches. And again, the key is that he jumps off the one, right at the moment he gathers the ball and establishes lots of contact on the way up, much in the same way James Harden does. Young may also have gotten to the point where the respect from the referees is real, as he jumps off the one to get this off clean, but his drift into the defender earns him a trip to the free throw line as well. While Ja did get the whistle on this drive, you can just see the degree of contact is significantly lower, making it easier for the refs to simply not call fouls for him. Too often, he'll get going full throttle at the rim, wanting to use his supreme quickness, but not realizing these defenders have got some of their own, and gets caught at the rim with nowhere to go. On this drive, he avoided the contact with Aldridge, who does a great job cutting off that angle, forcing Morant too close to the baseline before releasing it. The better decision was to make this into a pull-up jumper or hit one of his two teammates wide open for the three. Towards the end of this game, the frustration was setting in, so Ja just tries to fling himself at the defender and actually does get the call. But I'd caution him that against better defenders, this is going to be a charge or a no call. Both of these players also seem to have the knack for just being in the right place at the right time, but also ready to make a play once it presents itself, as Morant hits another explosive 2-foot floater that enables him to control his landing and high arc it into the net. 9 times out of 10, this long rebound just bounces out of bounds back to the Bulls. But quicker than a cat in water, Young sprints to the sideline and not only keeps it from going out of bounds, but hops right into a corner three for the easy bucket. And that brings us to three-point shooting, a category that Trae Young wins hands down. While both of these players have the potential to get to 40% from three-point range eventually, it's Trae who's got the kind of deep range we see from Curry and Lillard, and the defenses need to respect it, especially when he switches the traditional footwork and goes right-left into a 30-footer with the defender completely up in his face and still splashes this. Sheesh. Atlanta's offense also helps Trae get highlights. This herder cut looks like a ball screen, but it's not. Yet Kobe White senses it and gets put on skates with the crossover. Despite the good recovery, this is all the space Young needs to pull off the dribble and knock it down. And to prove it wasn't a fluke, he's got White almost falling down, then dancing like someone was shooting bullets at his feet before mercifully putting him out of his misery with a low set point release, almost like a chest pass to the rim. For a while last year, Morant was shooting great from behind the arc before seeing his percentage plunge, and one reason is rhythm calibration. Watch how slow the ball moves down into his dip after catching the ball, disrupting the proper timing of his arm swing up into the shot as it launches out of his hands and misses off the back rim. Now watch how he dips off the dribble with a much better rhythmic and quick motion, and it swishes clean through the net. Ja needs to figure out how to get more than the 2.7 threes he's been averaging per game in his career so far. And if he gets consistent with his rhythm dip, he can be lethal from back there. In the analytics age, players that can draw fouls and earn trips to the free throw line are a hot commodity, and Young has mastered this art, especially out of the pick and roll. While most players know how to snake dribble and put their defender in jail, watch how Young has perfected this to include the shot once contact is made. The defender is taught to get around the screen and hustle back into position as quickly as possible, but very few guards are taking advantage of the typical contact made from the backside to turn this into free throws, where he's lethal from the line at 85%. It's also clear Young has not just studied Harden's ability to draw fouls going to the basket, but on the perimeter as well. Twice he drew 3 free throws when a defender tried to sneak over the ball screen. This is a trick that Ja does not have yet, but would be wise to add to his bag at some point. And oftentimes, drawing the contact isn't necessarily about getting the free throws, just scaring the defender to disengage in order to get the shot off, as Young does here with a nice inside hand finish in transition. Where Ja can excel and Trae cannot is in explosive drives to the basket that simply overwhelm the defense. Because he's 6'3" and can jump out of the gym, he's got a natural advantage over Trae that drops jaws and sets Twitter afire. This bucket really caught my eye because of the supreme body control he displays. He uses a right-left and rhythm footwork that normally indicates a sweeping lefty finger roll, but instead, he opens up to the right side to finger roll it with the right hand over the front of the rim. You won't see Trae Young do stuff like this. And my favorite shifty move he uses is the cross jab, where he crosses the ball over right to left, but then adds a hard right jab step before extending his 2 steps to get around the big man for the beautiful lefty layup. And Young could only dream about finishing straight over guys in transition with his powerful leaping ability and hang time. Morant is quickly becoming one of only a handful of NBA players that cannot be stopped by only one defender in the open court, especially with the creativity and resourcefulness of plays like this. Whoa! That leaves us with court vision for passing, which for these two comes mostly out of the pick and roll. Lobs are a must in this vertically oriented league, and both can throw these types of passes quick before the defense can react and on target, so it's easy for the lobber to finish. But check the no-look lob to Collins. It's really just mean to the Chicago Bulls, you know? Ja also has a great talent for getting downhill, then throwing the ball back across his body for an absolute strike to the shooter who merely needs to catch it and shoot it. This is an important skill to have since Morant will collapse defenses routinely on the weak side, and rather than force contested layups against long and tall defenders, he needs to be able to find the shooters across the court for good looks. Although last night we didn't get treated to the kind of dimes we're used to seeing from Trae that wow everyone, placing him at the top of the list of best passers in the league, he did throw this early lob and expertly put it in a place where only his teammate could grab it in a position to finish quite strongly. Neither of these players is playing the kind of defense that makes you go, yeah, but Morant does have the physical tools to have more of a presence on that end of the floor and the length to make a few more plays to stop the other team from scoring. But this comparison has to center on what they do with the ball. For now, Morant is still like a young colt discovering what his limits are on the basketball court, and as a result, will get possessions where his wild forays to the rim leave the Grizzlies empty, whether he's forcing shots at too high rate of speed or not making a better decision to hit the open shooters on the perimeter. But we're seeing the making of a rivalry that will last a decade, and I'm sure so will the debate. But for now, if I have to pick who's better, I'm going with Trae Young. So all you got to do is click that button down below that says join, and you can be part of the membership at either one of those 3 tiers we've set up. We might even open it up to more. I'm thinking about having a Discord server, and then you guys can directly help me with the ideas for the videos I'm going to do on the regular YouTube. All I want you to do is click on that button, join the membership, get part of the conversation even deeper, and I think we're all going to have a great time this season as we go forward because it's shaping up to be amazing. So don't forget, sports fans, at B-Ball Breakdown, we're not a channel, we're a membership. You in?